Rangarajan. The applause should continue because it is indeed a very, very important session. The 28th Philosopher Shree Dnyaneshwara and Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series, and the traditional lamp is being lit at the august hands of the dignitaries. It is indeed our honor to have Director of IISc, Honorable Professor Dr. Govindan Rangarajanji with us. A big round of applause once again, my friends, as the 28th Philosopher Shree Dnyaneshwara and Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series and the orientation program is now inaugurated. I request all the dignitaries to kindly accept the chairs on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed faculty members, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. I am Dr. Gautam Bapat, and it is truly an honor to stand before you on this special occasion. With the esteemed blessings of our founder, revered Professor Dr. Vishwashanti, and the constant support and motivation from our Executive President, Shri Rahul V. Karat, we are delighted to extend a heartfelt welcome to everyone here for the 28th Shree Dnyaneshwara and Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series 2023. My friends, this event holds a great significance as we come together to celebrate knowledge, wisdom, and the pursuit of a holistic global society. Under the aegis of UNESCO Chair in the Human Rights, Democracy, Peace, and Tolerance, we are proud to present this orientation program. My friends, this vital event to foster the development of peace-loving, holistic global society through a value-based universal education system. This comprehensive lecture series has been consistent annual effort for the past 27 years, a testament to our commitment to the holistic development of our esteemed faculty members and staff. This vision of revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karat, who has been the guiding force in shaping the educational landscape. My friends, we take pride, please listen to my words carefully, we take pride in being the first university to implement the national education policy probably 27 years ago. For the last 3 decades, practicing the Indian knowledge systems. As we embark on this journey, we invite each one of you to participate wholeheartedly in this enriching experience. A UNESCO chair in Human Rights, Democracy, Peace and Tolerance has been established at World Peace Center, Myers, MIT, World Peace University, Pune, India. An agreement establishing the UNESCO chair was signed in Paris on Tuesday, 12th May 1998 between the UNESCO Paris and World Peace Center, Myers, MIT, Pune for the noble cause of world peace. Being inspired and motivated by the philosophy of the great philosopher Shree Dnyaneshwara and Shree Tukaram, today we are organizing this 28th Endowment Lecture Series. Philosopher Shree Dnyaneshwara, Philosopher Shree Tukaram, and Swami Vivekananda, the founding fathers of the culture of Renaissance of India, remind us of the path for our future. Social reconstruction and welfare is through the blending of scientific and spiritual values, which should form the common goal of the whole of mankind. My friends, for those who have joined our institution recently. To make the people and the entire world aware of the social, scientific, and philosophical teaching of these three great masters from the donation of revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir and his brothers Shree Tulshiram and Shree Kashiram Dadarao Karadji, in the name of their most respected and revered mother, late Srimati Saraswati Ji Karad, and their beloved father, Rashtra Dharma Pujak, late Sri Dadarao Ji Karad, Saint Shree Dnyaneshwara and Saint Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series Trust has been established. Once again, I welcome each one of you to the 28th Saint Shree Dnyaneshwara and Saint Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series 2023. Let us give a big round of applause to all the dignitaries and the visionary himself sitting on the dais, revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, for his relentless efforts. And now, let us delve into the depths of our own being. Let the sound of Om reverberate. The Om, the primordial sound, symbolizing the essence of the ultimate reality. I would like to request Professor Adigivya. So, before we proceed, and I request Milind Patre sir to give us the experience of Om, I would like to request, as per the tradition, everyone to rise in their seats for World Peace Prayer. My friends, this is a prayer which does not talk about any caste, creed, or any section of society. I request all of you to fold your hands, close your eyes, bring the image of your mother, father, your deity in front of your eyes, calm down, and let us wholeheartedly participate in World Peace Prayer.
प्रतिपाद्या जय जय स्वसंवेद्या आत्मरूपा देवातुति गणेषु सकलार्थमति प्रकाशु म्हणे निवृत्तिदास अवतारी गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्मा
Thank you. To guide us through the Om meditation and let the power of this ancient sound envelop us in the sense of peace and unity. Professor Milind Patre, please.
So very good evening all of you. Revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, revered chief guest and other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. What a terrific this session is going to be 28th Endowment Lecture Series. It's a yagya because we are all pouring our own self into that. And to make it, the beginning should be such a opulence. What is absolutely fantastic is to begin with the celestial sound called as Om. Bharat has two greatest gifts to offer to the entire mankind. One is yoga. We are beginning yoga from tomorrow 6:45 a.m. every morning for 5 days in this yajna. And another gift of Bharat to the mankind is Om. Mandukya Upanishad says that just by getting absorbed into the recitation of the Om, one transcends all three states of consciousness, Jagrut, Swapna, Sushupti, and enter into the fourth, the Turiya. But it needs practice, it needs time. But to give a glimpse of it, what we can do is that we can just enjoy this celestial bliss here within 2-3 minutes. We can all become so silent for the next 2-3 minutes. I request all of us to drop all their activities now, to gently be comfortable into their chairs. They can close their eyes. And when the music of the Om is played, you can participate wholeheartedly into the chanting, remembering of the Om, and experience the deep silence within you. So I request everyone to participate. Omkar, please.
Oh.
30 seconds, keep your eyes closed. Just be silent and still. Okay, gently open your eyes. Thank you very much for participating. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that beautiful experience, Dr. Patre. My friends, today in this 28th Endowment Lecture Series, we are starting a new tradition. We have the presence on stage of Honorable Shree Mukeshji, and there is a beautiful activity that we are going to start with this 28th edition of Endowment Lecture Series. A thought-provoking creation is made and which we would like to share with you. And the title is Think It Over, Niti Ki Laghu Kahaniya. And the first, I would say, short film that we would like to show you bears the title Fountain Pen Ki Chori. So, instead of me talking much about it, I think let's experience the film and try to understand the message in the film.
एक बार पुनः प्रणाम और स्वागत है आपका विश्वशांति दर्शन के प्लेटफॉर्म पर। आप सुन रहे हैं लघु कहानियां। चैनल के अधीष्ट हैं एक बार पुनः प्रणाम और स्वागत है आपका विश्वशांति दर्शन के प्लेटफॉर्म पर। आप सुन रहे हैं लघु कहानियाँ। चैनल के अधीष्ट हैं विश्वधर्मी विश्वशांति के उपासक प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड़। एक शाम समुद्र के किनारे बेंच पर बैठा हुआ एक बुजुर्ग व्यक्ति सूर्यास्त को देख रहा था। तभी उसके पास एक युवक आता है और पूछता है, आपने पहचाना मुझे? बुजुर्ग ने अपने चेहरे को उठाकर उसकी ओर देखा और धीरे से बोला, नहीं। तब युवक ने उस बुजुर्ग के पैर छुए और कहा, सर, मेरा नाम दिनेश है और मैं आपका छात्र हुआ करता था। ओ हो, बुजुर्ग व्यक्ति ने कहा, आजकल क्या कर रहे हो भाई? युवक बोला, सर, मैं एक शिक्षक बन गया हूं। अच्छा, मेरी तरह? बुजुर्ग ने कहा, जी हाँ, बिल्कुल आपकी तरह। देखा जाए तो मुझे शिक्षक बनने के लिए आप ही से प्रेरणा मिली। बुजुर्ग अब जिज्ञासु होकर युवक से पूछते हैं, मैंने कब और कहां प्रेरित किया भाई तुम्हें? तब वो युवक उन्हें अपनी कहानी सुनाता है। एक दिन आपकी क्लास में सर, एक छात्र एक नया कीमती फाउंटेन पेन लेकर आया था और मैंने जब वो पेन उसके हाथ में देखा तो मेरा मन उस पेन पर आ गया था। मैंने सोच लिया था कि कैसे भी करके मैं उससे वो पेन हासिल करके ही रहूंगा और फिर मैंने मौका देखकर वो पेन चुरा लिया। जब उस छात्र को पता चला कि उसका पेन गायब है तो उसने आपसे आकर पेन की चोरी की बात कही, आपसे शिकायत की। आपने तुरंत कक्षा को संबोधित किया कि भाई, उस छात्र का पेन जिसने चुराया है, आप कृपया उसे वापस कर दो। मगर मैं वो कीमती पेन वापस नहीं करना चाहता था और ना मैंने किया। फिर आपने क्लासरूम का दरवाजा बंद कर दिया और हम सभी को खड़ा करके आपने हमारी जेबों की तलाशी ली और साथ ही साथ आपने सभी छात्रों को अपनी आंखें बंद करने के लिए कहा था। सभी ने वैसे ही किया था और आपने हर छात्र की जेब की तलाशी लेकर वो पेन ढूंढ निकाला। लेकिन आपने उस वक्त मुझसे कुछ नहीं कहा और नहीं आपने कभी इस प्रकरण का, इस बात का, इसका कभी उल्लेख ही नहीं किया। आपने क्लास में किसी को भी नहीं बताया कि पेन मैंने चुराया था। उस दिन आपने मेरी गरिमा को हमेशा के लिए बचा लिया सर। वो दिन मेरे जीवन का सबसे शर्मनाक दिन हो सकता था। मैंने उसी दिन फैसला किया कि मैं फिर कभी ऐसा गलत काम नहीं करूंगा। आपने मुझसे कुछ नहीं कहा था और नहीं मुझे डांटा था। मुझे नैतिक सबक देने के लिए भी आप अलग भी नहीं ले गए। बहरहाल मुझे आपका संदेश स्पष्ट रूप से मिल गया था कि एक वास्तविक शिक्षक को क्या करने की आवश्यकता है। क्या आपको याद है ये किस्सा सर? तब प्रोफेसर ने जवाब दिया, हाँ, मुझे ये तो याद है कि क्लास में एक कीमती पेन चोरी हुआ था और मैंने हर किसी की जेब टटोल कर उसे ढूंढ निकाला था। लेकिन भाई, मुझे ये नहीं मालूम था कि वो पेन तुम्हारी जेब में था। लेकिन सर, पेन तो आपने मेरी जेब से निकाला था, फिर आपको कैसे नहीं मालूम था? युवक ने पूछा। अरे भाई, इसलिए कि मैंने भी तुम लोगों की तरह पेन की तलाशी लेते समय अपनी आंखें बंद कर ली थी। गलती सभी से होती है और मैं नहीं चाहता था कि कोई भी छात्र मेरी नज़र से गिरे। कहानी खत्म। देखें क्या सीख दे गई ये अनमोल कहानी, ये मार्मिक कहानी। अगर आपको अपने छात्रों को उनके द्वारा की गई गलतियों पर उन्हें अपमानित करने में आनंद मिलता है तो आप सही मायने में एक सच्चे शिक्षक नहीं हैं। आपको पढ़ाना नहीं आता है। थिंक इट ओवर।
Of them for bringing such beautiful messages to all of us. My friends, in the heart of this city at MIT World Peace University, a tradition of wisdom and enlightenment continued to thrive. The Shree Dnyaneshwara and Shree Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series is now in its 28th year, stands as the beacon of inspiration and knowledge. We hope that this experience, the 28th Endowment Lecture Series, also enriches your thoughts and minds. But I think I can take this moment to go back down the memory lane and let us all together watch the glimpses of last 27 editions of this Endowment Lecture Series.
तत्वज्ञ संत श्री ज्ञानेश्वर माऊली आणि जगद्गुरु संत श्री तुकाराम महाराज, संपूर्ण जगाच्या संत परंपरेतील महानतम अशी नावं. संत श्री ज्ञानेश्वर महाराजांनी 13व्या शतकामध्ये वयाच्या 16व्या वर्षी श्रीमद भगवत गीतेवर आधारित 700 श्लोक आणि 9033 ओव्यांची ज्ञानेश्वरी लिहिली. संत श्री तुकाराम महाराजांनी प्राचीन पुराण उपनिषदांवर आधारित ग्रंथ लिहिला. या दोन्ही ग्रंथांमध्ये संपूर्ण सृष्टीतील मानवजातीच्या कल्याणासाठी त्यांनी ज्ञानोमय, विज्ञानोमय तत्वज्ञान, अध्यात्म आणि विश्वशांतीसाठीचे आपले विचार मांडले. भारताचे थोर सुपुत्र स्वामी विवेकानंद म्हणाले होते, विज्ञान आणि अध्यात्माच्या समन्वयातूनच जगात शांतता नांदेल. हेच विचार लोकांपर्यंत पोहोचवण्यासाठी संत ज्ञानेश्वर, संत तुकाराम आणि स्वामी विवेकानंदांचे पाईक, शिक्षणतज्ञ, विश्वधर्मी, समाजसेवी प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड यांच्या संकल्पनेनं मानवी आणि आध्यात्मिक मूल्यांचं संवर्धन करण्याच्या उद्देशानं संत श्री ज्ञानेश्वर, संत श्री तुकाराम स्मृती व्याख्यानमालेची सुरुवात करण्यात आली.
You know that the endowment lecture which we have started in the name of Dnyaneshwara and Tukaram as great philosophers, the philosophers must come out from their shell and they should come to the society and guide them.
The Buddha, however, preached the equality of all human beings, and anyone who wished to enter the Buddhist order, Sangha, was not asked about the varna to which one belonged before entry.
And everybody is teaching my religion is the best religion in the world. My religion is the only divine religion in the world. जब तक ये खत्म नहीं होगा तब तक टेररिज्म खत्म नहीं होगा.
आपल्याला विटॅमिन B12, विटॅमिन D3 आणि कॅल्शियम हे मिळत असतं.
म्हणून शिवाजी महाराजांच्या साक्षीपतला तसं प्लॅनिंग आहे, क्वालिटी आहे, एफिशियन्सी आहे, तसं त्यांची जी वेळेच्या बाबतीतली पंक्च्युअलिटी इतकी विलक्षण आहे की आपणही थकवावं.
फुलांच्या पायघड्यावरून चालताना काटे बोचले तर सहन करा. फुलांच्या पायघड्यावरून चालताना काटे बोचले तर सहन करा, कारण काट्यांना फक्त बोचणंच माहिती असतं.
आपण काय पेरतो आपल्या वासरांच्या प्रमाणे त्याप्रमाणे आपल्याला मिळणारी फळं असतात. यातलं देवानं काहीही दिलेलं नसतं आणि काहीही आपल्याकडनं हिरावलेलं नसतं.
मन फार चंचल आहे. माणसाच्या आयुष्यात बऱ्या वाईट गोष्टी घडतात, त्या मनामुळे घडत असतात. त्या मनाला लगाम लावला पाहिजे.
सायलेंस रहेगा इन बिटवीन फ्रेसेस तो द फ्रेसेस सीधे मेरे हृदय से आपके हृदय में जाएगा.
And he says, you cannot glimpse another man's lived experience looking in through the window. You need to go into his space and live his life.
Space enables us to look at life in its totality, and also how it shows us that we are such an insignificant, small, tiny component in this entire universe.
पण या सगळ्या कालखंडामध्ये जो स्वतःचा आत्मविश्वास हरवणार नाही, जो स्वतःचा धीर गमावणार नाही आणि जो स्वतःच्या ध्येयाकडे लक्कपणे फक्त पाहत राहील, स्वतःच्या ध्येयाचं विस्मरण होऊ देणार नाही, तो निश्चितपणे यशस्वी होईल.
या संस्थेचा नेहमी कणा एक राहायला कराड सरांनी एकच भावना व्यक्त केली. हा जो टीचर काँग्रेसचा आपण इथं उपक्रम पाहताय की आपल्या शिक्षकांच्या माध्यमातून असे विद्यार्थी आम्ही टेक्नोक्रॅट्स बनवू, मॅनेजर बनवू, सगळ्या फील्ड मधले एक्सपर्ट बनवू, पण कसे? शेवटी ज्यांचं अंतःकरण म्हणजे स्पिरिच्युअलिटी, त्यांचं कम्पॅशन, त्यांचं माइंड, ह्याचा कुठेतरी समन्वय असला पाहिजे. ही जी संत ज्ञानेश्वरा तुकाराम स्मृती व्याख्यानमाला जी कराड सरांनी 22 वर्षापूर्वी सुरू केली सर, अतिशय रिजिड असं फाउंडेशन, ह्याच्यामुळे अतिशय स्ट्रॉंग असं फाउंडेशन आमचं सगळ्या शिक्षकांचं. खऱ्या अर्थाने आपलं सगळं धार्मिक जे काही ज्या गोष्टींना सायन्सचा कसा बेस आहे हे अतिशय कणखरपणाने सांगणाऱ्या अतिशय भारतातल्या तुरळक लोकांपेक्षा एक कराड सर आहेत असं मला वाटतं.
according to Lord Krishna himself is Gyan Shakti. Arjuna is Griya Shakti. From this perspective, they communicate what is Dharma. So Dharmas come from these two opposite values.
My Mother India will emerge as a knowledge core of the whole world. दुनिया के सामने ज्ञान का दालन बोल के मेरी भारत माता उभर आएगी. विद्यापीठ तो इंफॉर्मेशन का सेंटर होता है, डेटा कलेक्शन होता है, and information and data put together we call it as a knowledge. But there is a wisdom part beyond knowledge. उसका सही मायने में अर्थ बताने के लिए शायद यह संत ज्ञानेश्वर तुकाराम एंडाउमेंट लेक्चर सीरीज इज अ प्लॅटफॉर्म.
ओम आणि योग साधना ही भारतानं जगाला दिलेली पवित्र वैज्ञानिक स्वरूपाची देणगी आहे. या व्याख्यानमालेमध्ये मायर्स MIT संकुलातील शिक्षक शिक्षकेतर कर्मचाऱ्यांसाठी योगासन वर्ग आयोजित करणारी मायर्स MIT पुणे ही एकमेव शैक्षणिक संस्था आहे. संत श्री ज्ञानेश्वर आणि तुकाराम महाराजांचे विचार हे काळाच्या पुढचे होते. ते एक प्रगत वैज्ञानिक, समाज सुधारक आणि तत्वचिंतक होते. त्यांनी ज्ञान विज्ञानाधिष्ठित मूल तत्वांचा विचार जगासमोर मांडला आणि हीच गोष्ट जगविख्यात शास्त्रज्ञ अल्बर्ट आइन्स्टाईननं जगासमोर मांडली. संत ज्ञानेश्वर ते अल्बर्ट आइन्स्टाईन असा हा प्रवास आहे. त्यामुळे सत्याचा शोध, ज्ञानाचं दर्शन आणि ईश्वर हेच सत्य आहे अशा प्रकारचं ज्ञान विज्ञान आणि अध्यात्मा अधिष्ठित तत्वज्ञान अशा प्रकारच्या व्याख्यानमालेमुळे लोकांपर्यंत पोहोचवून या तत्वज्ञानाचं लोक कल्याणासाठी संवर्धन करण्यास मदत मिळेल असा आम्हाला दृढ विश्वास वाटतो.
For last 27 years of committed efforts of Endowment Lecture Series. And it is indeed my honor and privilege now to request on stage a person who has been associated out of those 27, the 20 years of Endowment Lecture Series, the Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University and the convener of 28th Philosopher Sri Dnyaneshwara and Sri Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series, Professor Dr. Milind Pandeyji, to kindly give the introductory remarks.
So very good evening to every one of you. Honorable Dais, we will take this opportunity to welcome you all for this very prestigious, incredibly unique, historic Endowment Lecture Series 2023. This is not just only the Endowment Lecture Series, this is also the orientation workshop for the staff members. My friends, 28th Saint Sri Dnyaneshwara and Saint Sri Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series program, a UNESCO chair program from last 27 years. Today is the great occasion, great evening. We at MIT World Peace University firmly believes in the saying of great noble son of India, Sri Swami Vivekananda. He said, union of science and spirituality oblique religion alone will bring peace and harmony to mankind. और यही ये लेक्चर सीरीज का MIT वर्ल्ड पीस यूनिवर्सिटी का अधिष्ठान रहा है. My friends, a UNESCO chair in human right, peace, democracy and tolerance was established at World Peace Center, MIT Pune, India in 1998. That means this year we are completing the 25 years of establishment of UNESCO chair at this MIT World Peace University, and UNESCO chairholder is Vishwadharmi Professor Dr. Vishwashanti sir. My friends, to realize this, he always used to say the philosopher Saint Sri Dnyaneshwara, Saint Sri Tukaram and Swami Vivekananda, they are the founding fathers of cultural renaissance of India. It reminds us the path of our culture, social reconstruction and welfare through blending of scientific and spiritual values. Necessarily, we should form a common goal for the whole of mankind. To realize the dream of this Trinity, Saint Dnyaneshwara, Saint Tukaram, and Swami Vivekananda, and make the people of the world aware of the social, scientific, and philosophical teachings of these great masters, this unique concept of endowment lecture series and orientation workshop, taught by none other than our founding father, Vishwadharmi, Professor Dr. Vishwashanti Karad. And my friends, this is the 28th year of this endowment lecture series. We just saw the film. The first World Philosopher Meet was arranged on 24th November 1996. His Holiness Dalai Lama, Honorable Padma Bhushan Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir is coming in the hall. I request all of you to please give him a standing ovation. खूप खूप स्वागत है सर. आगतम स्वागतम सुस्वागतम. Honorable Padma Bhushan Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir. Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir is a philosopher, friend, mentor, scientific advisor to this MIRS, MIT World Peace University from more than 3 decades. So let me continue. We saw the film. The first World Philosopher Meet was arranged 24th November 1996, and we saw in the film His Holiness Dalai Lama ji, Honorable former Prime Minister Indra Kumar Gujral ji, former Prime Minister Honorable Chandrasekhar ji, Honorable ECG Sudarshan, Honorable Abbas, Honorable Professor Dr. Barlinge sir, Honorable former Vice President Bhairo Singh Shekhawat, and many others, internationally acclaimed scientists, they came and graced this endowment lecture series. Friends, let me tell you, the uniqueness of this endowment lecture series is the consistency over the last 27 years. The staff development program for more than 2.5 decades, and the most important, the golden outcome of this all consistent and coherent efforts is the creation of the world's biggest dome by the great visionary philosopher, Vigyan Darshanik, Professor Dr. Vishwashanti Karad, and recently the Saraswati temple in Badrinath. My friends, with the great honor and respect, we would like to welcome the chief guest for today's function, Honorable Professor Dr. Govindan Rangarajanji, Director of the Public University IISc, Bangalore. Our own, the source of inspiration, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir, Honorable Founder President and the UNESCO Chair, Vishwadharmi Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir. We'd like to give a warm welcome to all of them on behalf of our Executive President, Professor Rahul Vishwanath Karad sir, the Vice Chancellor, the staff, students, and the Board of Trustees, Board of Management. We welcome you all for this very, very auspicious and unique program. My friends, as I mentioned, the world's biggest dome is the creation of the great visionary philosopher, Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad, and Badrinath temple in just 63 days. World Peace Dome is popularly known as Bharat Mata Ka Sanskritik Dharohar, the Mother India's temple for peace. As I said, and very unique, Professor Dr. V.D. Karad sir is the self-made visionary architect, conceptualizer, designer, and planner who has created this world biggest dome, but never claimed that he is the doer of this. But he always used to submit that he is just instrument in making this happen, and he's performed his duty as assigned by the Almighty God. One major milestone in the known human history, the public dedication of Saraswati temple at the origin of Saraswati river in the Mana village. It's a concept of ज्ञान भूमि से देव भूमि तक. श्रोते हो, 24 नोव्हेंबर 1996 ते 24 नोव्हेंबर 2023 हा 27 वर्षाचा प्रवास सातत्याने सुरू आहे. कुठल्याही शिक्षण संस्थेत, खास करून प्रोफेशनल एज्युकेशनल इन्स्टिट्यूशनमध्ये, इंजिनिअरिंग कॉलेजमध्ये, युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये अशा प्रकारची व्याख्यानमाला, असा उपक्रम, आणि तोही संत ज्ञानेश्वर, संत तुकाराम यांच्या नावाने सुरू असणे हा एक दुर्मिळ योग आहे. मित्रांनो, आपण नॅशनल एज्युकेशन पॉलिसीबद्दल बोलतो. वी आर स्पीकिंग अबाउट द NEP, वी आर स्पीकिंग अबाउट द accreditation, we are speaking about the NRF, ranking, NAC. We just heard about the NEP, but the visionary person who thought of this 27 years before. So we started yoga way back from 1996. The Indian knowledge system, let me tell you, over this last 27 years, we must have heard more than 530 speakers from this dais only. So, मित्रांनो, ह्या ज्ञानेश्वर तुकाराम यांच्या नावाने सुरू असलेला हा व्याख्यानमाला ही एक अत्यंत दुर्मिळ योग आहे. मूल्याधिष्ठित शिक्षणाचा पाया, व्हॅल्यू बेस्ड युनिव्हर्सल एज्युकेशन सिस्टीम, खऱ्या अर्थाने या व्याख्यानमालेच्या माध्यमातून घेतलं गेलेलं हे शिक्षण हा व्हॅल्यू बेस्ड एज्युकेशन म्हणजेच ही प्रॅक्टिकल लॅबॉरेटरी आहे. हा ज्ञानयज्ञ, ज्ञानसंस्कृती, ज्ञानसंवर्धन, ज्ञानदान आणि हे ज्ञानेश्वर सभागृह असा या 27 वर्षाचा प्रवास आहे. मगाशी मी म्हटलं की योग, खास करून करोनाच्या काळात आपल्या सर्वांना या योगविषयक संकल्पनेचा आपल्याला विचार करावा लागला. पण 27 वर्षाआधी या योगाचा प्रचार, आचार, विचार आणि प्रसार या व्याख्यानमालेच्या माध्यमातून करण्यात आलेला आहे. केवळ एकच दिवस नाही तर 7 दिवस आपण याची प्रॅक्टिस करतो. गेल्या 27 वर्षापासून योग अभ्यासाचे नियोजन सकाळच्या सत्रात, जे उद्यापासून सकाळी 7 ते 8 आपण योगाचं प्रशिक्षण या ठिकाणी घेणार आहोत, योगाची प्रात्यक्षिके आपण घेणार आहोत. व्हॉट इज द आउटकम ऑफ दिस एंडोमेंट लेक्चर सिरीज? या व्याख्यानमालेचं उद्दिष्ट काय आहे? आपल्या संपूर्ण स्टाफचं कपॅसिटी डेव्हलपमेंट आणि कपॅबिलिटी डेव्हलपमेंट, आपणा सर्वांना बहुश्रुत करायचं, बहुआयामी व्यक्तिमत्वाचा विकास करायचा, हेच या व्याख्यानमालाचं मित्रांनो उद्दिष्ट आहे. टू मेक देम अकॅडमिकली साऊंड, socially responsible and spiritually aware, development of their mind, body and spirit, to inculcate the value system in their mind and take them to become value oriented, holistic, peace loving global society. आणि हे अव्याहतपणे गेले 27 वर्ष सुरू आहे. 7 दिवस, 21 वेगवेगळे विषय, 21 विविध तज्ञ, सर्वांगीण विकास, बहुआयामी व्यक्तिमत्व घडविण्याचा हा प्रयत्न. सप्तसूर, सप्तरंग, सप्त ऋषी, 7 दिवस आणि 7 विषय. तुम्ही जर कार्यक्रमाची पत्रिका बघितली तर यू विल फाइंड देर आर 7 सब्जेक्ट्स ब्रॉडली. आरोग्य, मनशांती, विश्वशांती, मूल्याधिष्ठित शिक्षण, भारतीय प्राचीन संस्कृती, सृजनशीलता, विकासनशीलता, तसेच भूतकाळ, वर्तमानकाळ, भविष्यकाळ अशा विविध विषयांना विभागित करून व्याख्यानमालेला मूर्त स्वरूप देण्याचा प्रयत्न गेले 27 वर्ष करण्यात आला आहे. मित्रांनो, एक विशिष्ट थीम घेऊन, या संकल्पनेला धरून आपण या व्याख्यानमालेची रचना प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड सर यांच्या मार्गदर्शनाखाली करत असतो. विविध विषय, मी मगाशी म्हटलं ब्रॉड विषय, पण त्यातल्या त्यात फोकस विषय असे आहेत की union of science and spirituality, to promote the culture of peace in the world, to practice based universal education system in different universities of the world, vasudhaiva kutumbakam, ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti, मन करारे प्रसन्न, India will become a Vishwaguru in 21st century, आणि all religious scriptures are nothing but the life guiding scriptures इत्यादी या आणि most important, the World Peace Dome is the spiritually oriented scientific laboratory to transforming the peace paradigm. मित्रांनो, परत एकदा सांगतो की सातत्याने सुरू असलेली ही व्याख्यानमाला आणि त्याचे सर्व श्रेय प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड सरांना. मित्रांनो, देशासाठी, या भारत मातेसाठी, या मदर इंडियासाठी चिंतन करणारे विद्यार्थी व शिक्षक विद्यापीठांमधून घडले पाहिजेत अशी इच्छा स्वामी विवेकानंद व्यक्त करतात आणि यासाठीच या MIT वर्ल्ड पीस युनिव्हर्सिटीचे कार्य अखंडपणे सुरू आहे. आय सेड व्हॉट इज द पर्पज, व्हाय दिस लेक्चर सिरीज फॉर लास्ट 27 years. आजच्या स्पेशलायझेशनच्या जगामध्ये आपल्या या धकाधकीच्या जीवनात आपल्याला अवंतार वाचायला वेळ मिळत नाही. बरीच साधनं आहेत पण फोकस वाचायला वेळ मिळत नाही. असं म्हणतात की कॅन वी गेट ह्युमन हॅपीनेस अँड ट्रँक्विलिटी इन डिजिटल इरा, विल दिस एंडोमेंट लेक्चर सिरीज बी द सोल्युशन फॉर दिस? अँड आन्सर इज येस. एक शायर असा म्हणतो की बंद अलमारी में किताबों ने आत्महत्या कर ली, बंद अलमारी में किताबों ने आत्महत्या कर ली और सुसाइड नोट में आरोपी का नाम लिखा मोबाईल. या मोबाईलच्या वापरामुळे, मोबाईलच्या अति वापरामुळे अवांतर वाचन होत नाही आणि आपलं बहुश्रुत बहुआयामी व्यक्तिमत्व 360 डिग्री डेव्हलपमेंट ही होत नाही. मित्रांनो, या 28व्या एंडोमेंट लेक्चर सिरीजमध्ये तुमच्या सर्वांचं स्वागत करताना मला मनापासून आनंद होतो आहे. एक गोष्ट मी तुम्हाला सांगतो, मगाशी मुकेश शर्मांनी गोष्ट सांगितली. एक म्हातारी असते, ती असं गावोगावी भीक मागत फिरत असते. एक सज्जन गृहस्थ तिला भेटतात की का तू सगळीकडे भीक मागते, तुझा मुलगा परदेशात आहे, तू तुला पैसे पाठवत असेल. तर ती असं म्हणते की माझे मिस्टर बऱ्याच वर्षापूर्वी गेले, माझा मुलगा काहीतरी मला परदेशातनं पाठवतो, तर काय पाठवतो हे मला माहीत नाही. काहीतरी रंगबिरंगी कागद येतात, ते मी त्या भिंतीवर चिटकवते, मला त्या कागदांचा काही उपयोग नाही, म्हणून मी भीक मागत फिरत असते. त्याला आश्चर्य वाटतो. तो तिच्या घरी जातो सज्जन गृहस्थ आणि तो बघतो तर 60 डिमांड ड्राफ्ट त्या भिंतीवर लावलेले असतात. तो त्या म्हातारीला समजावून सांगतो की तू अशिक्षित आहेस म्हणून तुला हे कळत नाही की तुझ्याजवळ किती संपत्ती आहे, तू किती श्रीमंत आहेस. हे 50,000चा एक ड्राफ्ट, असे 60 ड्राफ्ट तिच्याकडे पडलेले असतात. मित्रांनो, तो तपस्वी, तो सज्जन त्या म्हातारीला जाणीव करून देतो की तू किती श्रीमंती आहे. तुमचं आमचं सुद्धा मित्रांनो असंच झालेलं आहे. तुमची आमची अवस्थासुद्धा या भीक मागणाऱ्या म्हातारीसारखी झाली आहे. आपल्याजवळ ज्ञानोबा आहेत, आपल्याजवळ तुकोबा आहेत, आपल्याजवळ ग्रंथ आहेत, ज्ञानेश्वरी आहे, भागवत आहे, तुकारामाची गाथा आहे, दासबोध आहे, तरी आम्ही विषयांची भीक मागत आहोत. सुखाची भीक मागत आहोत, दुःख भोगत आहोत. कारण हे सारे ग्रंथ फक्त घरात कपाटांमध्ये त्या ड्राफ्टसारखे फक्त ठेवलेले आहेत, त्याचं कधी वाचन होत नाही. नुसतं ते सजवून ठेवलं आहे, त्याचा कधी वापर होत नाही. त्यांचा जर आपण खरं वापर केला, त्याचा जर खरं अभ्यास केला, चिंतन केलं, त्याचं जर नाम घेतलं, त्याचा जर उपयोग केला, तर आपण सुखी होऊ. आणि या सुखी होण्याचा जर काही मंत्र असेल तर ती ही व्याख्यानमाला आहे. श्वास घेतोय तोवर जगून घ्यावं छान, श्वास घेतोय तोवर जगून घ्यावं छान, झाडालाही कळत नाही कोणतं गळेल पान. आयुष्य म्हणजे शोधला तर अर्थ आहे, आयुष्य म्हणजे शोधला तर अर्थ आहे, नाहीतर नुसताच स्वार्थ आहे, नाहीतर नुसताच स्वार्थ आहे. मित्रांनो, या व्याख्यानमालेचा आपण खूप उपयोग करून घ्यावा, मोठ्या संख्येने याला उपस्थित राहावं आणि या ज्ञानसंवर्धनाच्या कार्यात आपण सुद्धा वाटेकरी व्हावं, भिक्षेकरी व्हावं. धन्यवाद, नमस्कार, थँक्यू.
Thank you very much, Dr. Milind Pandey sir. Thank you very much for those beautiful words and taking us once again back to the first endowment lecture series and bringing us till today. Thank you very much for that. My friends, and now it's time. that as per the tradition, I would like to request revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the dignitaries on the dais. First and foremost, I would like to request sir to kindly felicitate the Director of Indian Institute of Sciences, IISc, Bangalore. Sure. I would first like to introduce him to all of you. Professor Govindan Rangarajanji obtained an integrated MSc from Birla Institute of Technology Sciences, Pilani, and a PhD from University of Maryland, College Park, United States of America. He had worked at the Lawrence Berkeley Lab, University of California, and before returning to India in 1992. He has been a faculty member of the Department of Mathematics of Indian Institute of Sciences since 1992, and he is currently the director of IISc. Professor has research interests including nonlinear dynamics and the chaos and time series analysis. He is J.C. Bose National Fellow. He is also a Fellow of Indian Academy of Sciences and the National Academy of Sciences, India. He has awarded the Knight of the Order of Academic Palms by the government of France. He was also a Homi Bhabha Fellow. As a co-principal investigator of Indo-French Cyber University project, he helped establish the first intercontinental satellite-based courses. These courses were taught live to Indian and the French students in various subject areas. He is currently the director of the Indo-French Center for Applied Mathematics, the first internationalized center in France in India. This is the joint venture between the Department of Science and Technology, DST India, and the consortium of French institutions. It is indeed our honor and privilege to have Professor Govindan with us here today. Let's give a big round of applause as I request revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir to kindly felicitate him. A big round of applause, my friends. Indeed, our honor to have him here today. The round of applause should continue, my friends, as we felicitate him. A big round of applause. Oh, indeed, he deserves a standing ovation. A big round of applause, my friends, for him. It is indeed our honor and privilege to have you here today, sir. I would also like to request sir to kindly felicitate a big round of applause once again. I would also like to request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the special guest of honor of this session, Padma Bhushan Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar sir, world famous eminent scientist and educationist of India and former Chancellor of Nalanda University. A big round of applause, my friends. It is indeed our honor to have him here today. The scientific advisor to Honorable Prime Minister of India, Padma Bhushan Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for all those felicitations. It is indeed our honor to have such a great personalities on stage here today with us. And it is now my honor and privilege to request the chief guest of this session, Honorable Professor Dr. Govindanji, to kindly address the gathering. Please put your hands together and welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Professor Vishwanath Kara, Professor Bhatkar, and other dignitaries on the stage and off the stage. It's indeed an honor and pleasure for me to be here for this endowment lecture series. So, this is a very, difficult topic to speak on for a person like me, because this conference combines spirituality and science. And I must admit my lack of expertise on being of in-depth knowledge of spirituality. So what I thought was I would do is, talk about artificial intelligence and its impact, and then also, more provocatively towards the end, what would be the impact of artificial intelligence on truth and spirituality. So that is what I would like to do today. So since it's a very diverse audience, so of course I think all of you would have heard of artificial intelligence these days. That is the flavor of the month or the flavor of the year, especially with all the turbulence going on in OpenAI. So a brief history is earlier when you looked at the whole concept of artificial intelligence, even the word was coined during a conference in Dartmouth many decades ago. And initially the efforts were all towards things like small systems, expert systems especially, where you tried to mimic, say, the expertise of a doctor by putting all the rules what a doctor would use to, say, prescribe a medicine, or any other system that would work. So therefore it was very difficult and laborious to come up with all the rules. As you can imagine, there are always exceptions to the rules, and it's very difficult to codify everything into one system. So these were always falling short of the impact. And after some time, artificial intelligence fell out of favor, and what is called AI winter. But there are also beginnings, that AI winter also led to the beginnings of a more robust form of artificial intelligence, because people continue to work on systems called neural networks, which had its origins in the perceptron, which was a very simple neural system. But then soon people like Jeffrey Hinton and others started putting many layers of neural networks together, what later became known as deep neural networks. And equally importantly, a mathematical algorithm called backpropagation became very critical in implementing these neural networks so that they learn from the data. So what you presented to these neural networks was data, labeled data. So you presented them set, you try to say, suppose you had images of cats, dogs, and so on. So it will start with random connections between the neurons, and then you will try to guess whether the image presented was a cat or a dog or whatever else. And if the answer response is wrong, then all the connections would be changed. Application algorithm comes in, and then you would keep on doing it. But initially, again, this approach did not have much success, because the computing power was limited then, and so was data. You didn't have that much data to work with, and that became a serious limitation. But soon, as the computing power increased and the amount of data, labeled data, increased. For example, one important development was the creation of the ImageNet database, which was a good set of labeled data of images of various sorts, which then allowed people to test out more and more complex neural networks, deep neural networks. So this soon, there was a breakthrough by Hinton and his students, where they were able to train a deep neural network to recognize images, and for the first time, there was a big jump
in the accuracy with which images could be detected correctly. And soon enough, after then the whole area, the modern version of computer vision started, where these deep neural networks became more and more powerful as the computing power grew, and they became more and more accurate, and now they approach human capabilities in a lot of the areas. So this was the initial breakthrough which made people realize these deep neural networks had a lot of promise. But then a more recent development, which really, but that was still a technical area. I think the general public was not too much aware of the developments happening there. But what really brought the whole field to the public domain was the creation of these generative pre-trained transformers that the Google team created. That was a sort of, again, a mathematical technique which used the concepts of autoregression, attention, and so on, to be able to really do a very good job of creating good language models. So here, you just train this on all the corpus of data, text data available, say Wikipedia, Reddit, whatever data source that you have, you create pre-trained transformers that I talked about. Using this technique, what they found was accuracy of creating paragraphs became much better. Earlier, you would be able to create a few words, and after that it would just become nonsense. With these GPTs, what happened was that the accuracy with which, or the coherence with which you could create whole paragraphs became much better. They became much better at predicting what the next word, what the next logical word should be, and also to make sure that the grammar and the coherence of the sentence also are preserved, so that you create. So that, I think, was the big breakthrough with these large language models, and this was enabled again by computing power, and also these new algorithms like GPT. So now you train models with billions of parameters, which requires more than a year on these banks of GPUs, the graphical processing units, to train. So each model of these big models, large language models, often takes more than a year to train. And so the big breakthrough as far as the public was concerned was the release of ChatGPT, which was based on GPT 3.5 version. And then people realized that you could actually interact with this, natural language system, and you could get very meaningful answers. In fact, it could write poetry, it could write, humorous pieces. So many things appeared to be possible. It could code. So a lot of things were possible. And needless to say, students were the first to realize the advantages of GPT. They immediately took advantage of GPT to write all their essays. That, of course, became a problem in education. So in many of the educational institutions, one had to sort of think about what is the fate of take-home assignments. Because all the take-home assignments could be done by so how do you, when do hallucinations happen? How can you track down these hallucinations? How do you make sure that these hallucinations don't happen? And so on. So you can think of the GPT as creating the first draft, and you critique it, and then try to make it better and better. So this is where we are now, and there are also hints of some breakthrough, further breakthroughs. These are only rumors now. Altman talked about a big breakthrough in OpenAI a few weeks ago at a conference, and there are also rumors that the Q-Star project at OpenAI was able to really solve school-grade math problems ab initio. Not just because it had all the knowledge and could just do a pattern generation to solve this, but ab initio. These are just rumors now. I mean, this came out just yesterday about this Q-Star project at OpenAI. So we don't know whether it is true or not, but if that is true, then that would again be another major breakthrough which would have happened, which would take it to one level further. But all this leads to a question of where we are heading. So there are both bad and good impacts. So you could, as far as education is concerned, you could think of GPT as a calculator. When calculators came, people were very concerned. I mean, they thought, people will lose their math skills. But then instructors and teachers using calculators as a tool to further enhance the productivity of students. So maybe GPT-4 and its successors and other languages like Llama and so on will probably become tools for us to do better and better, be more productive, and concentrate on things which are more important rather than rote learning, which many of the students do now. But there are also very important drawbacks which all these large language models have had, and that goes back to what I already hinted about, was hallucinations, stating wrong facts. So that really had one major issue, that how and also before I go further, also we have these using again such GPT models and so on. We also have this whole business of deepfake videos and deepfake audios. So now, just by listening to few minutes of your audio, and many of us have audios, recorded somewhere or the other, so on the YouTube and everywhere else. So just using that, people are able to clone very easily your voice. And there are also, in the US, you have some banking systems where they use voice authentication to authenticate whether you are the correct person, trying to operate the account. And these deepfake audios have been able to fool those systems in trying to, make them believe that they are talking to the right persons. We also have this much more, worrying thing where using these deepfake videos, deepfake audios of children of parents, they then are able to make calls to the parents, saying that, I am in trouble, I have been kidnapped, please immediately send money to this account. Only then I'll be released. So these are very worrisome trends. Then you have this whole, field of fake news. So similarly, you have deepfake videos. We have, a recent deepfake video which crossed a lot of, got a lot of publicity recently. So that again tells you that you can easily create a deepfake video of anyone, and so where are we heading because of all these troubling developments? So that brings us to the whole concept of going into this AI world, the brave new world of AI. What is truth? You come to this fundamental question. Now, what is going to be the truth? How are you going to determine something is true? Because what is happening is, as AI starts generating more and more of these responses, they also become part of the internet. Okay, and many of these responses are also hallucinations, so they are wrong responses. But they also become part of the corpus on which the next generation of large language models are trained. And these large language models then think of these as facts, even though they were hallucinations created by previous versions of large language models. So soon, as a percentage of output created by all these large language models becomes larger and larger, then you won't even have a definite concept of truth any longer. then you can see we are in deep trouble from a philosophical viewpoint or from any viewpoint. So you start questioning what you see, whether it is true or not. So the only thing you probably still can believe is what you see with your own eyes, okay? Or hear, see with your own eyes on a live world. You can't believe anything you see on your eyes on YouTube or social media, but anything you see like this, maybe in this room, maybe you can believe that that is true. But that experience is very limited, as we know. More and more people are spending, especially the younger generation, are spending most of their time on social media. That is their world. They're spending their whole time on the virtual world and not in the real world. They're not interacting with others. That is a big problem among students. They're all, we have all seen, bunch of family members sitting together at the dining table, each with their iPhone and, looking into the iPhone and not talking to each other. So this, when you rely more and more on social media, and even more importantly, people are relying on social media for news, that is even more worrisome. So with all these deep fake videos and news coming out, where is truth? How are you going to determine something is true or not? So that is a very fundamental problem that we are going to face going forward. How are you going to establish credibility of anything that you see in the world? Because these videos are becoming so good as we go along, and especially photos are much better. So with all these stable diffusion and all these models that we have, this may be the fundamental challenge that we are going to face as we go along. But that doesn't mean that we completely, we try to stop AI, because there are also a lot of good things which happen. For example, you might have heard of AlphaFold program, the AlphaFold 2 especially, which was able to determine the structure of proteins for practically all proteins, not just proteins found in humans, but also in all other animals, okay? That is something the scientists have been struggling to do for decades. But within a few months, it was able to solve the entire structure. And that used a lot of reinforcement learning, which is not like the large language model, but another type of artificial intelligence. So that is the power of AI, okay? And in healthcare, you see more and more that decisions are being made with the assistance of AI. So because the AI tools are able to read all case reports, all medical case reports which have appeared in all journals, which is impossible for any single doctor to do. So they are able to diagnose very rare cases and so on much more easily than doctors. Or you can read the radiological reports. They are able to identify very subtle patterns which would have been missed by even an experienced radiologist. But again, all this have to always be validated by a human doctor. You never can get away from a human doctor as of now. But this again shows the power of AI. Now you have, for example, Argonne is building the world's most powerful computer, and it's going to put AI on it and connect it with an automated lab. And what this system is going to do is, this AI in the world's most powerful supercomputer, once it becomes live very soon, that is going to go through all possible drug molecules, candidates for drug molecules, find out which are the most promising candidates, and then that sends it to the automated lab, and the automated lab then does all the lab testing. So there's no human being involved at all in this. Everything is done by computers, completely automated, which will work 24/7. So this is another, way one can accelerate the development of science and research, especially into diseases. So you see some good developments, you see some bad developments. So you also worry about how things are, what we should do, how we should regulate. So US has come out with the AI policy for regulating it. So India also has some policies with these. So everybody is trying to see how to regulate AI without stifling innovation, because you don't want to over-regulate it and stifle innovation so that no progress happens. But then you also have to think about, again, coming back to this truth. What is truth? If you look at any photo that you have taken, even if you have not altered anything, So again, you have to see, because is that the real truth? Even there, if you look at the fundamental question, because what is happening when you take it using your iPhone camera is that photons are being detected by these sensors, and they do a lot of processing to convert those photons into images. Okay, so in that sense, reality is being distorted. Is that the true reality that you're seeing? Now we have gone one step further. You know, with the Google's recent release, you can remove a person from the photo, okay? Or you can take multiple photos and find out where each one is smiling, and they're all put together, and so you get one photo where everyone is smiling, because you always, you know, have this frustration where one person is not smiling, another person is smiling, so you now get the perfect photo. But is that the truth? So is that the true picture which actually happened? Are you capturing a true experience of what happened with all the flaws? Or is it some actual reality that you are creating for yourself? So it need not be, that's what I want to say is, you know, truth is not harmed just by all these deep fake videos and deep fake audios. It is also harmed in some sense by all the photos that we take now. All of us, you know, adjust the color balance to make ourselves look better in a video. So again, you are altering the true picture, isn't it? So any photoshopping that you do, you are altering the true reality. So what is truth will become, you know, that truth will be the casualty of this age of AI. That's going to be a problem. Now let me come to a more provocative, part. Will AI create a new religion? So this is again being speculated by people, because if you look at it, AI has many features which are very similar to what religions have. Because, you know, you have this famous saying that God works in mysterious ways, you know, which tells you that not everything you want happens when you want it. There are, you know, things which happen for a reason, and that's the way it's done. But artificial intelligence also, nobody, not even the people who created them, know how it works. So it again works in mysterious ways. And it also provides, if you look at these chatbots, they also provide, like the Oracle of Delphi in the Greek mythology, they provide definitive answers to any question, like, you know, religions do. So earlier we used to do Google search. You had a bunch of links. You had to go through all the links, and then you would use your judgment to see which one is the best answer, maybe something which suits you, maybe, but still, you had the choice of going through multiple links and trying to choose. But now, as more and more people rely on these chatbots, then the chatbots give one answer, and you take that as a definitive answer. That is again something which is very akin to what religion does, where for every question there is a definitive answer. Okay, one answer, that is the truth. Okay, so now more and more people, for example, there was one of the authors talked about his child who came back and said, "Oh, I'm going to talk to God today. What question should I ask him?" When the author investigated, it found out that there is a chatbot which mimics God. I mean, it's called, and then the child thinks, he's talking to God and wants to find out what questions you should ask God. So that is what we are coming to. And I think there, you see, these are the things, because some of the other elements, like immortality, I mean, in some sense has no death. It's an immortal presence if you have it. And it also, once, if and when, nobody knows whether it's going to happen. If you have artificial general intelligence or even more, disturbing singularity, then you may have an artificial intelligence which is much more intelligent than any of us. Then you have something which gives you very definitive answers, which is more powerful than you, okay? And it has no experience of death. It is present everywhere in the world. It can, through networks, it can spread all over. then wouldn't people start thinking of AI as God at some point and start a new religion around AI? So this is something which again is very disturbing, for us human beings, where, especially for those who are very spiritual. But there again, I should point out there are contradictions. There was a recent paper in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences where they looked at people. There's a large study which looked at people who are more prone to accept the decisions made by AI, whether it is for watching a movie or anything else, or healthcare decisions and so on. It turns out in that experiment, those who are thinking of God, so some people are given cues to think about God, okay, and other set were in the control group, they were given no such cues. So in the group that were given cues about God, which they prompted them to think about God, those were the people who were more ready to accept the decisions proposed by AI systems, decision systems. So there's a very, subtle connection between all these concepts. And so it's very interesting and maybe very scary to think we are headed towards. Maybe it's all overblown. Maybe none of this will come to pass. You already have people, as I said, like a young child who thinks, he's talking to God, that many of these spend hours together talking to these chatbots. In fact, now a Michigan professor has coined a new term called Godbots. These Godbots, like Ask Delphi is one such example. So where, they start giving advice on morality, moral things and so on. Again, you get only one answer, and many people, given all uncertainty, so many choices that we face in our world, many people want that certainty. Give me an answer. I don't want to look at everything and take a decision on my own. Give me one answer. I'm happy with that. So in such cases, you have this experience which is coming more and more. And some of the things which people are attempting and then taking at face value is scary. Because one group at MIT created this moral machine project where, with these autonomous cars, there are many of these moral decisions to be taken as autonomous cars become more and more prevalent. For example, you are headed towards it, and it is inevitable that you have to have an accident. And there are, a group of young children crossing the road. So there are two choices the autonomous car faces. One is to crash into the children and kill them, or to veer off to one side and kill the occupants of the car. So what would you do? Because now the autonomous car has to make a decision, okay? So what would be the decision that the autonomous car would make? Now this group which created the moral, machine project polled all the people, they just did a crowdsourcing, got opinions and gave answers, to each of these questions. But that again is dangerous because the people who answer are all a biased sample, those who are more tuned to these machines and AI systems and so on. So you have things being decided by a group of what is moral, what is not moral, by a bunch of people who may not represent the true wisdom that the world has accumulated. So with these, maybe, let me stop. And I'm saying, especially about religion and AI, it's given the topic of this endowment series, that may be something worth, exploring going forward. People, very famous philosophers like Harari have started talking about it. What is going to be the implication of AI on, new religions? AI is the God, So these are things which can be very disturbing to all of us and which can really affect us going forward. So we all need to debate. Some of the debates will not be pleasant, but we still have to have these debates and try to see how we tackle these issues going forward. So with these few words, let me thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause, my friends, to Honorable Professor Dr. Govindanji. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom. And some of the facts that you mentioned in your speech were really, really pushing us to introspect. Like as you rightly said, the AI and its relation with religion, AI and its association with probably God, and people talking to AI more than they talk to you these days. So probably that is definitely a point to think. And I think, sir, if I may say, after hearing your lecture, that AI has probably become a film like Schrodinger's cat. We really don't know what's gonna come out. So let's try and debate it as sir has guided all of us and try to bring us the best out of it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Once again, give him a big applause, friends, for coming all the way here and sharing his thoughts with us. Thank you. And now it's time that I request Shri Sanjay Upadhyayji to kindly share his thoughts on this behalf.
Namaste. Come on, say namaste. Namaste. हाँ, मैंने जब कहा नमस्ते को, that is artificial instructions. Because आप खुद तो नहीं कहोगे तो मुझे कहना पड़ेगा कि नमस्ते कहो करके. अच्छा भी लगा और डर भी लगा भाषण सुनते वक्त. मनुष्य की ज़िंदगी आसान होते जा रही है और आसान करते करते कहीं वो स्टेप नहीं आ रही, पूरा सर्कल पूरा करके वापस कठिनाइयों पे हम जाके उतर जाएंगे तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगी. और जहाँ तक बुद्धिमत्ता का सवाल है तो जैसे गांव में हर इतवार को लोग इकट्ठा आते थे और जोक्स बोलते थे एक दूसरे को, तो इट वाज मैंडेटरी कि हर एक आदमी ने एक जोक बोलना है. अब क्या हो गया, वो गांव में कोई नया आदमी नहीं आया था, बहुत दिन हुए, साल हुए, कोई नया आदमी नहीं आया, तो हर इतवार को वही जोक वापस सुनते जा रहे हैं बोलने वाले. तो वो थक गए, तो उन्होंने कहा क्या करें, तो एक एआई वाला आदमी आया, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस. तो उसने कहा एक काम करो, आप जोक्स को नंबर दे दो, हर एक जोक को नंबर देना, मतलब पूरा जोक कहने का काम नहीं बचेगा, सिर्फ इकट्ठा आने का, कहने का 4, तो सब लोगों ने 4 नंबर का जोक याद करके हंसने का. अभी ऐसे वो भी चलता रहा, नंबर बोल के जोक पे हंसते रहे. एक दिन नया आदमी आया गांव में, दूसरे गांव से आया, उसके गांव में भी वही चलता था. तो जैसे ही वो आया इतवार के मीटिंग में, अरे नया आदमी आया, तो चलो उसको पूछते हैं कि तेरा जोक क्या है. तो यहाँ के जो जोक्स की संख्या थी वो 337 थी इस गांव की. तो जैसे ही वो आया और उसने जोक कहने के लिए वो खड़ा हो गया, उसने कहा 338. तो इतने हंसने लगे लोग, बाप रे, पूरे के पूरे लोटपोट हो गए. तो किसी ने पूछा ये इतने क्यों हंस रही है, 338 में क्या जोक है. बोलते नहीं, वो ये पहली बार सुन रहे हैं. तो मनुष्य का शरीर इतना एडिक्शन में आ गया, आदत में आ गया कि क्या जोक है मालूम नहीं, लेकिन नंबर नया है करके जोर से हंसने लगे. ये डर लगता है कि इस तरह से अगर होता है तो. जैसे कार चलाने वाली स्त्री को पूछा आरटीओ इंस्पेक्टर ने, उसने पूछा कि तुम कार चला रही हो, तुम्हारे सामने तुम्हारा हस्बैंड और तुम्हारा भाई रास्ते के बीच में आ गए, तुम पहले क्या मारोगे, भाई को या अपने हस्बैंड को. तो वो कहीं सोचा, उसने कहा मैं हस्बैंड को मारूंगी, भाई मेरे खून का है करके. तो भाई इंस्पेक्टर ने उसको फेल कर दिया, मेरे पागल पहले तुम ब्रेक मारोगी. ये जो बुद्धि है हमारी, वो बुद्धि आस्ते आस्ते, भगवत गीता में भगवान कृष्ण ने कहा है कि यंत्रारूढ़स्य माया, मैं यंत्रों में भी हूँ, ऐसे भगवान कृष्ण ने कहने के बाद भगवान हमें विवेक सिखाता है. और वो विवेक के साथ अगर एआई आ गया तो ही बात बनेगी, नहीं तो नहीं. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के साथ में विवेक की भी आवश्यकता है, और विवेक में आप आर्टिफिशियल कुछ नहीं कर सकते, कृत्रिमता कुछ नहीं हो सकती. विवेक तो मनुष्य का नेचुरल स्टांस है, उसका लक्षण है. तो इसलिए वो आस्ते आस्ते डर लगने लगता है. घर में भी जैसे सर ने कहा कि घर में फैमिली मेम्बर्स बैठे हो, सब मोबाइल पे बैठे हैं, और बच्चा फॉर्म भरा है एडमिशन का, और फॉर्म में पूछा है, सवाल पूछा है कि बर्थ मार्क क्या है, बच्चे का बर्थ मार्क, तो उसके माँ ने कहा लिख दो लेफ्ट हैंड में मोबाइल। पहचानने का तरीका क्या है? इतना अगर यंत्र हम पर हावी हो रहा है तो उसको रोकने का काम मंत्रों से हो सकता है। तो ये मंत्र का जो हिस्सा हमारे योग मंत्र समीक्षा नाम के ग्रंथ में लिखा हुआ है, विवेक निर्माण होने के लिए हमें कुछ मंत्रों की आवश्यकता है, यंत्रों की नहीं आवश्यकता। और ये जो मंत्र है वो उच्चारण के माध्यम से होते हैं। जैसे इन्होंने कहा कि न्यूरल नेटवर्क की जो बात की, उसमें एक है इनपुट है, एक में हिडन है और एक में आउटपुट है। तो इनपुट में 2 है, हिडन में 4 है और रिजल्ट 1 का है। इस तरह से जब लैंग्वेज चलती है, मनुष्य के विचार भी जाएंगे, तो विचार जब जाएंगे तो उसके लिए इस विवेक की आवश्यकता आज हमारे लिए है, दुनिया के लिए है। और शायद यही वजह है जब हम इस तरह की व्याख्यानमाला आयोजित करते हैं तो इसमें कई सारे विचार एक साथ आके उसमें से मंथन होके उसमें से नवनीत निकलना चाहिए। तो ये मंथन की बात है। इसलिए मैं अक्सर ये जो लेक्चर सीरीज़ है उसे दिवाली के बाद की दिवाली कहता हूँ। ये दिवाली हम पहले कर दी जहाँ पे हमने बड़े क्रैकर्स तोड़ दिए, पोल्यूशन बढ़ाया, पेट खराब किया, इधर का भी पोल्यूशन खराब हो गया खा के। अब ज्ञान की दिवाली है। संत ज्ञानेश्वर जी ने ज्ञानेश्वरी में बहुत अच्छा कहा है कि सूर्य अधिष्ठिली प्राची जगा राणी वदे प्रकाशाची तैसी वाचा श्रोतया ज्ञानाची दिवाळी करी। तो मेरी हाथ जोड़ के विनती है सभी स्टाफ से कि एक दिन भी मिस मत करो। मतलब अगले साल ऐसी स्थिति आनी चाहिए कि इंस्टीट्यूशनल इंस्ट्रक्शंस में लेक्चर अटेंड करना मैंडेटरी नहीं करना चाहिए। इतनी खुशी से लोग आने चाहिए यहाँ पे, तभी बात बनेगी। तो इसलिए हाथ जोड़ के विनती है। अच्छा, इस तरह के जैसे अब विषय आपने सुना, इतना इंटरेस्टिंग विषय था। तो और कल जब आओगे ना तो इस तरफ बैठो, ये मंदिर के पीछे लोग बैठे ना वो दिखाई नहीं देते, और फिर यहाँ से दिखाई नहीं देते तो वहाँ का दरवाज़ा भी वो नज़दीक है दरवाज़ा, तो घड़ी की तरफ देखते देखते उस दरवाजे से गायब होने की संभावना है। तो उसको रोक दो। और आज से शुरू होने वाली इस व्याख्यानमाला को वेल बिगन इज़ हाफ डन। अभी तो पूरा हॉल भर चुका है यहाँ पे। ऐसे ही हर रोज़ के भाषण के लिए आप उपस्थित जाओ। और फिर देखो अब लास्ट पॉइंट, वेल रेड से भी ज़्यादा बहुश्रुत ज़्यादा ज्ञानी होता है। जो ज़्यादा सुनता है वो ज़्यादा ज्ञानी होता है, ज़्यादा पढ़ने वाले से भी ज़्यादा ज्ञानी होता है। क्योंकि वक्ता जो है वो वक्ता अभ्यास करके आता है और उसके मन में उस अभ्यास से जो निचोड़ है, उसका जो नवनीत है, वो आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करता है। तो एक ही जगह पे बैठ के बहुत सारे वक्तों के बहुत सारे अभ्यास का कैप्सूल्स आपको यहाँ व्याख्यानमाला में मिलता है। तो मुझे लगता है बहुत शुरू तो हो जाओ। और यही कारण है विश्वनाथ कराड़ जी ने 27 साल पहले 28 साल पहले इस व्याख्यानमाला का आयोजन किया। और सातत्य ये सिद्धि पाने का एक तरीका है, वो सिद्धि इस व्याख्यानमाला ने प्राप्त की है, इस व्याख्यानमाला ने, ऐसे मुझे लगता है। तो फिर एक बार यहीं पे रुकता हूँ। मेरा जो नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस है और वापस मेरा मोबाइल वहाँ पे है, उस आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में खुद को शिफ्ट करता हूँ। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words. And thank you very much for once again underlining the importance of this endowment lecture series and being part of it. My friends, one such address was made almost 8 years ago. In October 2015, in the Parliament of World Religions, revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir made a speech which received a huge applaud and standing ovation. Of course, many of you might have seen it, but I would like to take this opportunity today to show you all that speech that happened in October 2015 in the Parliament of World Religions. May I request my team to kindly relay.
स्वामी विवेकानंद, भारताचे थोर सुपुत्र स्वामी विवेकानंद एक केवळ नाव नाही तर हजारो वर्षांपूर्वीच्या भारतीय संस्कृती, सहिष्णुता आणि सभ्यतेचं दर्शन आहे. स्वामी विवेकानंद.
Next we have Dr. Vishwanath Karad. He is an eminent public intellectual,
devoted teacher, and dedicated social worker. He is the founder, president, and director general of the Maharashtra Institute of Technology in Pune, India, in addition to being the founder and president of its World Peace Center of the Maharashtra Academy of Engineering and Educational Research. He is also the UNESCO Chair for Human Rights, Democracy, and Peace. Dr. Karad.
1893 नंतर पुन्हा एकदा घुमले तेच शब्द बंधूंनो आणि भगिनींनो.
My dear brothers and sisters, the great scholars, thinkers, philosophers and scientists gathered for this unique Parliament of World's Religions, which is a reminder to all of us of the very first Parliament, which was held on 11 September 1893. And particularly myself, it reminds me of the words of wisdom spoken by the great noble son of India, Swami Vivekananda, who had said that time, and when he said, union of science and religion / spirituality alone will help to bring harmony and peace to mankind. And he had given the very definition that religion is nothing but to perform one's duty. Duty towards the mother, the father, the family, the society, the nation and the entire world. World as one family. Before I make some comments on the very subject which has been given to me, that whether the value-based universal education system can help to minimize the hate speech, the violence, the chaos, and the confusion prevailing in this world, in spite of the most mind-boggling developments in the field of science and technology, getting all the facilities and the luxurious things for enjoyment and possibly the pleasures of life. But friends, I sincerely feel that we have another component. It's not the human body alone, but there is a mind and the heart which needs to be really understood properly. The mind, matter, spirit and consciousness are the four important words which we have to address ourselves when we have been trying to think about development of a human life. And when we say the development of a holistic society as a whole, we have to have a very important and a very prestigious component of life, that is education. I can only tell you, friends, that in the name of the same noble son again, that he has said that the education is nothing but a perfection already in a person, in a man. So many definitions have been given, but finally I feel on the present situation when we see all around that everything is available. Outer space, IT, computer, particle physics developments, but on the other side we have not been having a full satisfaction. And possibly there's a chaos, confusion, confrontations, the massacre, the bloodshed, and horrifying violence too. The issue is mainly in front of me and the discussion which went on, what is the solution for this? I, for one, friends, I feel sincerely that there is a need to have a value-based universal education system. The moment I say universal, somebody may call that how can you dare to say universal? The basis is that every nation has a geography, its history, its culture, its traditions, but the time-tested values are common. The human values are common. And naturally, we have got to know exactly what way we have to proceed. And from that point of view, there is an urgent need that we must have a component of appropriate component of science and appropriate component of spirituality too. Not to misunderstand about the spiritual component, because that ultimately helps to develop the positive mindset. The issue is not to have a destructive mind or a negative mind, but how to develop the positive mindset. And possibly the best solution would be that you should have a certain component of meditation and your own faith, whatever belief you have. But remember, friends, that at least we must have to have a complete component of at least some component of spirituality and some component of science part of it, engineering part of it, or IT computer part of it. And we will have to design a new system of education. Our World Peace Center, MIT, Pune, India, who is a firm believer of the great philosopher saint of India, Sant Dnyaneshwara, at the age of 16, he said, this spiritual component or the religious component is nothing but to understand the ultimate reality, the ultimate truth. You may call Ram or Rahim or Jesus or Buddha, whatever name you give. My name is Vishwanath. The question is, this name is given by my parents. The issue is, what is that invisible force or the energy which needs to be appropriately understood and included in the education system itself. That is my personal feeling, friends, and I sincerely feel that world over we have to think again and finally settle a new education system, which I call it as a value-based universal education system, which may be some solution to minimize the chaos, confusion, bloodshed, massacre, terrorism, and violence. That time has come, and we have to think and revive ourselves in an appropriate manner. I don't say everything is wrong. I personally, I'm a professor of engineering. I do understand it. And finally, I would say and conclude with a few words. This is Atharva Veda quotation, not with a pride, because I'm an Indian. But let me tell you, friends, there is a confusion again that all the religious scriptures are life-guiding scriptures. They are not only meant for either the Islam, the Quran, the Bible, the Gita, the Guru Granth Sahib, whatever names you take up the different books. You will find that they are nothing but the life-guiding scriptures. How to live and how let others live. How to help and how to help the other people. That has been the solution. Finally, I would like to tell you, friends, and give a small quotation and conclude my speech. This quotation is from an Atharva Veda. There are two components. One is the ritualistic component and one is the scientific component. It says, we are the birds of the same nest. We may wear different skins. We may speak different tongues. We may believe in different religions. We may belong to different cultures. Yet we share the same home, the Mother Earth. Born on the same planet, covered by the same skies, gazing at the same stars, breathing the same air. We must learn to progress together or miserably perish together. For a person can live individually, but can only survive collectively is the final destiny for the whole of human race. It doesn't speak of any particular religion or any particular caste. Friends, I would like to once again earnestly appeal to you that there is a need to have some modification, and without misunderstanding, without calculating anything else, we need to have a scientific component, appropriate component of science, and appropriate component of...
परिषदेत प्रकट केलेले विचार म्हणजे स्वामी विवेकानंदांच्या विचारांचं पुनस्मरण.
Let's give once again a big round of applause, my friends, to revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir for such a wonderful speech. And now it's time when I request him to address the gathering in this 28th Philosopher Shree Dnyaneshwara lecture series. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, friends. Today, that is the 24th of November 2023, it truly fills my heart. It again truly fills my heart with a sense of joy when I stand myself great stalwarts of India. The man I'm mathematics and computer, artificial intelligence, and all those fine words which are being now very common world over. And when I am experiencing the words of wisdom just now of Dr. Govindan, who has been the director and the head and the guide and a professor of mathematics at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, one of the topmost in India. And about Vijay Bhatkar sir, I did not make any comment. I had been very fortunate, and we all of us have been really fortunate that he has been our teacher, a guru and a guide for the last more than 40 years. It has been my good fortune that I could meet him, and which has given us a certain direction. And when we are discussing this very important union of science and spirituality oblique religion, trying to promote the culture of peace. And the question which was started and discussed between Vijay Bhatkar and myself, whether the great saints Dnyaneshwara, Sant Tukaram, Kanakdas, Purandardas, Kabir, Sant Namdev, you take the names, whether they were philosophers or not was the main issue. And very briefly, you friends know it very well. What a good fortune for all of us that we could understand and know the very essence and philosophy behind these two words. And one of the biggest domes in the whole world, we are not the makers, but we have been instrumental. And it has risen to the status of a spiritually oriented scientific laboratory, Adhyatma Shastra ki Vaigyanik Prayogshara. So many words can be spoken. Just now you have possibly heard my brief speech in the Salt Lake City of America in the year 2014. It has been enough possibly to speak my mind. When we utter the name of Philosopher Sant Tukaram, along with all the great saints and sages of India, speaking about the words of wisdom from the Vedic literature, speaking the language of ethics and morality, promoting the culture of peace has become a very unique word. With the guidance of the great noble son of India, Swami Vivekananda, which I have been speaking in this hall tens of times. But especially the year 1996 gave a very important direction to our life, and the mission for this World Peace University or World Peace Center, the MIT group of institutions, all of them, all the 5 universities are trying to understand our own responsibility. मुझे याद आती है 96 की 24th of November. Early morning at about 9 o'clock, the first World Parliament was organized. And we were work was to become 120 with myself for the first World Parliament. I am a believer, even though I belong to engineering, I do understand what is particle physics, what our great Professor Govindan said about the artificial intelligence. And when this word is being used, I am yet to understand what is the chemistry of mind. I am to understand of mathematics, for understanding मदर, जिसे भारत कहा जाता है। ऐसी बहुत लंबी बातें भाई साहब आपने तो बहुत बात सुना है, लेकिन मुझे बहुत खुशी इस बात की है कि देयर आर टू ग्रेट मैन विथ अ ग्रेट इंसाइट एंड अ विजन. Ultimate aim is the well-being and welfare of the humanity, the mankind. What is the purpose of life? I think possibly I have requested Vijay Bhatkar, he has not been feeling well, but we insisted, myself and Milind Pandey and everybody, sir, at least come and bless us. He is a great visionary, talking about parallel computing. Which year, sir?
40 years back.
40 years back. 40 पैरेलल नहीं लगता है कि ये क्या, लेकिन कि when he was in library hall, because he used to night, and the librarian and the chancellor, vice chancellor had to take a decision that this boy who has been all the time studying and sitting in the library, so give him the key. So he used to sit in the library for overnight, day and night. And you know that the greatest achievement in the life, coming from a very population, वहाँ कोई छोटे, और वहाँ से लेकर the first supercomputer of India and the world, which are the world exhibition of computers, first computer. And that supercomputer was given by Mr. Vijay Bhatkar. I'm so proud for him. And about then, I have heard him too much and so much from many people, but I think Ramchandran was one of the directors of IIT Madras. And your people, I 20 seats from all India, and the topmost students of the state only used to get the admission in the IIT Science Bangalore, belong to that category. So ये अपना सौभाग्य है कि संत ज्ञानेश्वर तुकाराम की चर्चा है, और ऐसे महान साइंटिस्ट, the men of mathematics who have understood what life stands for. जीवन क्या है, धर्म क्या है, दिशा क्या है जीवन की, कौन से दिशा में जाना और जाना है, ये सारी बातों का with this unique word which he used and deliberating about artificial intelligence, ये गूगल की भाषा हो, फेसबुक की भाषा हो, या और कोई फोटोन की भाषा हो, इंटेलिजेंस की भाषा हो, ज्ञानेश्वर ने तो 730 साल की उम्र में he has said the entire universe is a manifestation of pure intelligence and consciousness. And the entire universe की बात है. Mind, matter, spirit and consciousness was one word used. Remember, it was a great neurosurgeon from Madras who had addressed in this very hall about this issue. So, my pleasure is that in the name of Sant Dnyaneshwara and Sant Tukaram, otherwise बोले जाते हैं. ये धार्मिक लोग हैं भाई, हिंदू लोग हैं. कुरान क्या है, पुराण क्या है, बाइबल क्या है, त्रिपिटक क्या है, गुरु ग्रंथ साहब क्या है, सोचो देखो तो सही. जीना कैसे ही जीना, हाउ टू लिव and how not to live, or how let others live. लेकिन ऐसी टॉप मोस्ट इंस्टीट्यूशंस ऑफ द कंट्री, Boston, Stanford, you take the name. All the institutions today and the greatest universities of the whole world, starting from China, Russia to America and to India to Britain, you study those people. They are literally pulling them out. पता नहीं गोविंदन को भाग जाएंगे लेके, हमारे बच्चों को सिखाओ बोल के. मुझे मालूम है ये वक्त आ गया है भाई. The Indian brain and the talent like them, they are very much in demand, and they are very much in demand in India too to guide us. ये भाषा है भाई, थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करो. मुझे भी पता नहीं, लेकिन 24th November to 30th November 1996, it was a celebration of the 700th anniversary of Dnyaneshwara. इतनी सुंदर भाषा, पूरा वही. And now the Schrodinger, Penrose, and the great men of the whole world, they have been advising us, like Govindan ho, Bhai Mashrakar ho. They are telling the world of education, all to establish the schools of consciousness and reality. What is the ultimate truth? ईश्वर क्या है? ईश्वर व्यक्ति नहीं. बड़ी सुंदर भाषा है, लेकिन थोड़ी समझने की अपने को जरूरत है. वी आर द पीपल हु आर गोइंग टू रियली गाइड द न्यू जनरेशन, द फ्यूचर जनरेशन. एंड फ्रॉम दैट एंगल आई थिंक टुडेज स्पीच of Govindan sir has been, I am more keen in these people. Understand it. Understand the whole process very scientifically being discussed. And final aim is जीवन को सुंदर सच्चित आनंद की बात होती है. सत्य क्या है, चित कॉन्शियसनेस क्या है, और आनंद क्या होता है, ये सारी बातों का जिक्र करने का प्रयास है. एंड वी हैव अ ड्यूटी टू परफॉर्म. So such lectures of endowment lecture series are going to educate us. They are going to really, I always feel, ये सीखने का प्रयास है भाई. मिलिंद पांडे साहब ने और संजय ने जो भाषा वो अभी यूज़ की, मुझे बहुत खुशी है. मैं सुन रहा था मिलिंद को भी, ये संजय तो ये बड़ा भारी है, ये अलग रतन है अपना. तो मुझे बहुत खुशी है. आप में कितने लोग हैं मुझे मालूम है. You have been very intelligent, capable. And you also may feel like coming here and talk to the people. That would be the real stage what we are trying to do, and having a chance to learn. A request that I will not any speech from him, because he has his own for the last few months. But still I have said that please bless this occasion in his own words, what experience he has. भटकर सर, त्यांना टाळ्या द्या.
Professor Vishwanath Karadu, a great teacher, and my brother invited me for this endowment series. I know that I have been here several times, but for some time I had some medical problem and I did not know. I had gone to Kerala for health treatment, for their typical health treatment. And there they discovered that I had a mild stroke, brain stroke. We could not discover that. I was transferred to a Mata Amritanandamayi hospital, very great hospital at that time, which was inaugurated by then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And I was watching that, such a great culture, great structure, a medical structure created by our mom. There I saw several tests, and I don't want to tell the history of that whole thing, but since the subject is artificial intelligence, I lost my intelligence. If there is any, I lost my memory. And I was not able to speak. For weeks together, I was not able to speak. I have to write another story of how I regained my, and with what treatment. Today's subject is artificial intelligence. 30 years back, I had a hunch that a new for us, the knowledge of artificial intelligence. So many research papers are appearing, the history of it. Professor beings, more than human beings. So we have a turning point here. That when human beings are succeeded by machines, what the world we are telling. And there are several scenarios. People are so scared that is the human. Literally such scenarios have been constructed, Professor Gar. There are several lectures and YouTube lectures, and you should watch them, that what world now will be. I don't want to paint situation what will happen, but the future will depend upon how wisely this technology will be used now onwards. In particular, technological institutes like this, particularly before teachers like you who have listened to this Endowment series and series of lectures, 500 lectures we have listened to this one. So I was interested in understanding the recent scenario, what it is, and that's one thing is that Professor Karade invited me, and then again we met in G20, you know, the G20 conferences which went on all over India, and perhaps I feel I didn't sense that kind of wisdom coming through, but new wisdom will come, and new world order will be visualized by the G20 crony, the great 20 countries of the world of the culture of peace. So Professor Karade is asking me a question, how will you culture of peace So I'm here for that. I don't want to give a lecture and all. I just want to tell that I want to write Professor Rangarajan, I want to write a second edition, I'm just requesting how this book, the second version of it, my book, at that time I reviewed the whole artificial intelligence, this one, at that time, that is 30 years back. Today what has happened and where are we? I know where are we, YouTube lectures, but your views on that, I had And Indian Institute of Science, as the Professor Kirat told, that we have so many universities. We have now 1,000 universities, not 1, 2, 3, 4, but 1,000 universities, and some good universities. In the MIT group itself, we have 6 universities. In lifetime, we can create from a school boy struggling to attend college, that's one thing. He has created 6 major universities, good universities, amongst these 1,000 universities. So we already listened to him. I am very happy that I was called in front of this great audience. I came several times before you, and shared my ignorance all along. But about artificial intelligence, I want to say that when I wrote the first book, that thing I thought I will throw this challenge to young people, that can we, or invite Professor Rangarajan, can we upgrade this book? Not upgrade, but revolutionary new view for this book, and I am keen on that. So I am before you, and I am very pleased that I am again able to attend this endowment series. And some remarkable, incredible people like him, like here, Professor, this one. And one of the great things, today's accomplishment is that, though I don't know how you feel, but like he has put before us, that this lecture series is very, very important. Where will get such great professors to come at one place and share their views, particularly people from Indian Institute of Science, which is one of the topmost universities, or what really we are proud of, what can be created as the future of the universities, though it was long, the oldest universities of India. So I am very happy, and I will once again throw that challenge to help me, to assist me, or to create a new version of the book on art, where the humans have created, what monster we have created, that we will not exist, but human intelligence means machine intelligence, what is called like a singularity, like a singularity.
Let's give a big round of applause, my friends, to Padma Bhushan Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar sir, for coming all the way and sharing his words of wisdom. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University, Professor Dr. R.M. Chitnis sir, to kindly propose vote of thanks.
Good evening and namaskar. Honorable dignitaries on the dais, all the faculty members, staff of MIT Group of Institutions, and everyone else in the audience. At this auspicious great, I am here to propose vote of thanks at the inaugural session of the 28th edition of Sant Dnyaneshwara, Sant Tukaram Endowment Lecture Series. कुछ हिंदी में, पिछले 2 तपों से ज़्यादा चले और डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड़ से चले हुए इस ज्ञान यज्ञ की ये 28वीं आहुति है, जो अथक और अखंड जारी लगती रहेगी. The Endowment Lecture Series is a result of thoughts, wisdom and foresight of our founder, President and UNESCO Chairholder of Democracy and Peace, Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, who could envision the need of imparting knowledge and information to the faculty and staff members. His thoughts are very crystal clear. A teacher, students better, or staff members team better if he or she is continuous learner himself. Gaining knowledge through your systematic academic education is the foundation of a teacher. But updating that knowledge, seeking more wisdom, and learning more than academic education is working with them. That's why the Endowment Lecture Series gains all the more importance for the faculty as well as staff members of MIT World Peace University and entire MIRS constituents. We would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the chief guest, Professor Dr. Govindan Rangarajan Sir, Honorable Director of Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, for gracing this pious occasion. Our sincere thanks to guest of honor, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar Sir, whom the world knows, the architect of India's first supercomputer, Param. Our sincere thanks to our own Shri Rahul Vishwanath Karad Sir for his continuous support and encouragement, who is Executive President of MIRS MIT Group of Institutions. Our sincere gratitude to the creator of this Endowment Lecture Series, creator of the Kalpa Vriksha of MIRS MIT Group of Institutions, creator of world's largest peace dome, creator of many such monumental marvels all over India, such as Saraswati Mandir near Badrinath, and out of India, the homes which were given to people who faced earthquake in country or neighboring country, Nepal. And last but not least, our heartfelt thanks to organizing team headed by Dr. Milinda Pandey Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, and all the faculty and staff members tirelessly working for the successful conduct of this Endowment Lecture Series. And thank you to all those who are present here in this inaugural session. I will take one more minute and comment on what Govindan Rangarajan Sir has said, and which you should take back to your classrooms and also in your particular life, with permission of Dr. Karad Sir and permission of Dr. Govindan Sir. Sir, you touched upon, or rather explained, AI, artificial intelligence, will create new religion. That was the first. And second is hallucinations because of AI. Hallucinations is a bhranti or bhram, and AI will create a new religion. Now this was said, as Sir has mentioned, by a very, very prominent professor who is present in this world, and Sir referred to him, Harari. Noah Harari is an Israeli professor who has written for the first time in the history of 13 lakh years of humankind. And the book is Sapiens. All of you might have read that. And Sir mentioned that Noah Harari said that in 23 only he has said, somewhere around May 23 he has said again, which has come in Indian newspaper in Times of India, that AI will create new religion. Now what do he means by that is slightly different than, because after that Dr. Upadhyay Sir said that thoda dar lagta hai, kya hone wale, hallucinations and new religion. So God there, or the religion, is meant as something which is a superpower or maybe higher power, as well as the belief. Religion gives us belief, and it is said in that particular context that we will start believing AI over God or over the knowledge which is given to us by religion per se. Govindan Sir, I want to add another line of the same professor in the same book, Homo sapiens, which he has written about 13 lakh. He says that in 13 lakh years, we, humankinds, we are so superior to anything. We have conquered this entire universe. There were lots of animals, we discarded them. Jurassic Park, we have seen the movie. There were 7 such similar human beings. We have devastated them and only we remained. Read that book, very interesting. If you don't have time, read the PowerPoint or read his video. And he has also mentioned that if 1,000 people go to jungle and one lion comes, we will run away. But 100 lions come to city. Human brain has created such a beautiful system in Pune or any part of the big urban areas where immediately we will have a call and police will come, PMC will come, and we will attack and we will capture those animals. So human brain is much ahead of that, and human brain himself has created AI. Any such issues which are happening because of AI and will be conquered by human being, because we have conquered in 13 lakh years many such challenges. That is what is my opinion. Govindan sir, hope you will agree with this. Second was about hallucination. Hallucination is a bhranti or bhram. And in case of this AI, hallucination is slightly different because bhranti and bhram is related to human psychology, whereas AI hallucinations, if you type in internet, you will come to know that it is not that human psychology, bhranti or bhram hallucinations per se, psychological hallucinations, but it is something that you have not asked for, and AI perceives that as a bhranti and gives you output which is called as unjustified information. Meaning, if you ask information about X religion, it gives Y also. And AI experts have said that this particular thing happens 27% time. So almost 67% time AI is correct and hallucinations do not happen, but 23% time hallucinations do often. Means I have not asked for that information. Govind Rajan sir has given one example that it also creates wrong references. Suppose Dr. Milind Pandey has not written any article. His name will come, he has written this article, and that will be given as a hallucination part of it. 27% time that refer to Dr. Pandey's article, research article in so and so journal. And this is little different kind of a challenge, but Dr. Govind Rajan, you have already given answer to that. Chat GPT 4 version will have a lesser of this because Chat GPT 3 has this. Now what is that particular issue of algorithms is large data sets or large models, LLM as we popularly call in computer science. So these LLM models have this 27% issue. As we go ahead into ChatGPT 4 and we reform our LLM models more, then this kind of 27% may come down to 17, and maybe. I know that we cannot remove it completely, but मेरा ये छोटा सा प्रयास इसमें था कि डॉक्टर संजय उपाध्याय ने जो पॉइंट रेज किया था कि डर लगता है ऐसे अगर होने वाला है, तो ये मैं थोड़ा सा आपका डर कम करने की कोशिश की सर. विद दिस योर डर ऑल्सो कम करने की मैंने कोशिश की. मुकेश शर्मा सेड दैट why don't you talk about some films some other day. There are many such films recently made by Hollywood on this kind of artificial intelligence issues. Once again, I thank you all of you, and very very important information that Dr. Milind Patre sir will start Omkar meditation tomorrow at 6:45 a.m. So though we are saying at 7, some of us are coming at 7:10, 7:15. I understand the issues of transport and you have to get up early, but try to see that you try to reach at 6:45. If you program it right now in your intelligence, you are much better than artificial intelligence. I am sure all of you will come at 6:45 and tell all your colleagues. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for wonderful vote of thanks. And of course, with the permission of Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, I would like to add one more name to the vote of thanks of Professor Dr. Ramchandra Pujari, sir, who is sitting in the front. Thank you, sir. He has been instrumental in getting Honorable Professor Dr. Govindanji here today. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's because of your efforts we could have him here today and listen to his beautiful views. And as Honorable Vice Chancellor sir said that tomorrow we would start the session by our own Padekar Guruji, who's here. So once again, if you can please greet everyone that tomorrow onwards at 6:45 a.m. sharp, he would be starting the yoga sessions. Thank you very much. And now, with the permission of Chair, we would like to conclude this session. I would like to request everyone to rise in your seats for Pasaidar.
विश्वात्मके देवे येने वाग्यज्ञे सोषावे सोषोनि मज जावे पसाय दान जे खळांती व्यंकटी सांडो तया सत्कर्मी रतिवाढ भूता परस्परे पडो मैत्र जीवांचे दुरिताचे तिमिरदा विश्वस्वधर्म सूर्ये पाहो जो देवांशील तो तेला हो प्राणी जात वर्षत सकळ मंगळी ईश्वर निष्ठांची मांदियाळी अनवरत भूमंडळी भेट तू भूता चला कल्पतरूंचे आरव चेतना चिंतामणींचे गाव बोलते जे अर्णव पियुषाचे चंद्रमे जे अलांतन मार्तंड जे तापहीन ते सर्वाही सदा सज्जन सोय रे हो तू किंबहुना सर्व सुखी पूर्ण होनिसिही लोकी भजिजो आदि पुरुषी अखंडित आणि ग्रंथोपजीविये विशेषी लोकीये दृष्टादृष्ट विजये हो आवे येथ म्हणे श्री विश्वेश्वराव हा होईल दान पसावो येणे वरे ज्ञान देवो सुखिया झाला.
Thank you very much. My friends, tomorrow after the yoga session at 8:45 a.m. sharp, we will have the session starting here in this very hall by Professor Swanand Pun on Nitimatta va Manashanti and Yogacharya Dnyaneshwara Vidyalankarji